A quiet house, late at night. A woman sleeps peacefully. But in the dark, something begins to move, her neck, slowly, silently, stretching across the room like a pale ribbon. And here's the worst part, by morning, she'll remember nothing. She may not even know what she is. Tonight, the Rokurokubi.
Yokai night. Tonight, the woman whose neck wanders while she sleeps.
The Rokurokubi looks like a perfectly normal woman by day. The trouble starts at night, when her neck stretches to an impossible length and drifts around the house on its own.
Oh, the long neck lady. She's in Yokai Watch and Gegege no Kitaro, right?
Cartoons made her cute. The old prince made her uncanny, and we'll meet her whole modern family at the end. But first, a crucial split.
A split.
There are really two kinds. The true Rokurokubi keeps her head attached, the neck simply stretches and snakes through the dark. The nukekubi is the nastier cousin, the head detaches completely and flies off into the night, leaving the body behind.
Wait, the whole head just leaves. That is so much worse.
And here's the chilling part, for both, in many tales she doesn't even know. By morning she wakes an ordinary woman, with no memory of the night at all. Come from. Toriyama Sekien drew her in the Edo period, the 1700s, an age that adored a good scare. Traveling Nisemono spook shows sold tickets to gawk at long-necked women and other marvels.
So she started as a sideshow act.
Half of her, yes. But the other half is a sharp little idea. The long neck is a metaphor for desire, for a spouse with secrets, for the strangeness hidden inside ordinary people.
So the real fear isn't the neck?
Not at all. The real fear is that the person beside you, or even you yourself, might hide a side no one has ever seen. She lives in that gap between funny and frightening, which is exactly why Edo Japan loved her. And Japan still throws her a party. Stay to the end and I'll take you to a Kyoto shopping street that holds a yokai night parade every summer. Lafkad Eohan recorded a wonderful nukekubi tale. A traveling monk takes shelter with friendly woodcutters deep in the mountains.
Let me guess, not woodcutters.
At midnight he peeks in to find 5 headless bodies, the heads gone off into the forest, gossiping and hunting. And he knows the old rule, hide a body, and its head can never rejoin it.
So he moves a body.
He does. When the heads return, one panics and bites onto his sleeve instead. He walks away the next morning with a souvenir head still clinging to him, and a very good story.
What happened to the monk with the head?
He's arrested, caught carrying a human head, until he explains, and the magistrates, half believing, let him keep it as a grisly souvenir. The head, they say, stayed stuck to his sleeve for the rest of his days. Other stories are sadder. A husband learns his gentle wife is a nukekubi, and must decide whether to expose her, flee, or simply love her anyway, secret and all.
Love a monster, knowingly.
That's the quiet heart of her. The Rokurokubi asks whether we could keep loving someone after we've seen the part of them they hide from the world. My favorite detail is the unawareness. In several stories the woman suspects nothing, until she glimpses her own reflection at night, or notices a faint bruise-like ring around her neck each morning.
So she's almost a victim too.
Exactly. It's often framed as a curse, or punishment for a past life, rather than pure evil. That makes her oddly sympathetic, a person carrying something monstrous she never chose. And it cuts deeper because it could be anyone. The Rokurokubi is the fear that someone close to us, or even we ourselves, hides a side we have never seen. Now here's a question I love. Why would people genuinely believe a woman's neck could stretch across a room? The strange thing is, there are real explanations.
Real ones? Like what?
Doctors have a name for one: Alice in Wonderland syndrome. It's a real neurological effect, often tied to migraine, where your own body seems to distort, a hand, a limb, your neck feeling as if it stretches away from you.
Named after the actual Alice?
After the book, because Alice keeps changing size. And here's the lovely twist: Lewis Carroll himself was a lifelong migraine sufferer, and the story's most famous image is Alice's neck stretching impossibly high into the trees. It reads almost like a medical drawing. There's a sleep explanation too. On the edge of sleep, some people get vivid hypnagogic hallucinations and sleep paralysis. You'd see a neck rise across the dark room while your body lay frozen. Others pointed to sleepwalking, a woman who roams the house at night and wakes with no memory, the unaware Rokurokubi exactly. But the saddest explanation is also the most human, and it opens a window on how hard those centuries could be. In old Japan, lamp oil wasn't petroleum. It was pressed from rapeseed, or from sardines, the very same oil people cooked with. To keep a lamp burning was, quite literally, to burn food.
Wait, so just keeping a light on cost as much as a meal?
For the poor, yes. And in the great famines, when the rice failed and whole villages went hungry, that little dish of oil was a meal no one was watching. Picture a starving woman, perhaps a Yojo, one of the women of the pleasure quarters, sold there as a girl to pay off her family's debts, creeping to the lamp in the dark to drink it. Caught in that flickering light, her shadow stretching thin and tall up the paper wall, she no longer looked like someone hungry. She looked like a monster whose neck had come loose. Perhaps the legend was simply kinder to remember than the truth.
So the monster was really just a person.
A person, and that fear never stayed in a single shape. Across Japan it grew a whole family, each sister hiding the same secret behind an ordinary face. Closest of all is the nukekubi. Where the Rokurokubi's neck only stretches, the nukekubi's head detaches completely and drifts off by night, while her body lies defenseless. Move that body, and the head has nowhere to return. By dawn, it dies. She also has sisters who hide a monstrous self behind a calm face. The Futakuchi owner looks like a gentle wife, until her hair parts at the back of her skull to reveal a second, hungry mouth that must be fed. On dust shrine roads walks the Ohaguro Bettari, a woman in bridal white who turns to face you, and her face is nothing but a wide, black-toothed grin.
They all look perfectly normal first.
That's the whole family secret. Each one passes for an ordinary woman until the worst possible moment. The horror isn't the monster, it's that you never saw it coming. Stop at Japan's shores. Look outward, and she has sisters across the world, a woman who comes apart in the night, often far more gruesome.
Have a Rokurokubi.
Close cousins. In Malaysia, the Penanggalan, a woman whose head detaches and floats off, trailing her insides behind her. In the Philippines, the Manananggal, she splits at the waist and flies on bat wings to hunt. And in Thailand, the Krasue, a glowing floating head drifting over the rice fields at night. And one cousin who isn't a woman at all, but shares her curse, the werewolf of Europe, an ordinary villager who turns beast by night and often cannot remember a thing. Different body, same secret.
All of them, a woman who isn't whole.
All of them. So tell me, does someone come apart in the night in your country's stories?
What ties them all together?
A woman who is ordinary by daylight and something else by night. From Japan to Thailand, the same unease, that the gentlest face beside you might hide a self you've never met. It endures because it's true in a quieter way. Everyone keeps a part of themselves the world never sees, the Rokurokubi just lets hers go for a walk. Rokurokubi has softened into something almost lovable, a star of summer ghost tales, haunted houses, and yokai parades. In Kyoto, the Taishogun district even throws a Hayaki Yagyo, a night parade of yokai down its shopping street. And that drifting neck is too good for artists to resist, a classic in Gegege no Kitaro, a collectible in Yokai Watch, a night visitor in Ghostwire Tokyo, a foe in Hell Teacher Noob, a teacher in Yokai School, and the heroine of the manga Kanojo wa Rokurokubi. But the core idea still has a quiet bite. The most unsettling monsters, she reminds us, are the ones who look exactly like us.
And that is a Rokurokubi, ordinary by day, impossible by night. A monster who might be sleeping right beside you and never know it. If you enjoyed tonight's tale, a like or a subscribe really helps. It's what keeps these stories coming. For Monsters Beyond Japan, our sister channel Monster Alphas is waiting. Next time, an old woman in the mountains opens her door to the lost travelers and sharpens her knife. The Yamamba. Until then, sleep lightly.